I seen this a lot earlier, and I'm like I said with him, and I'll say it again. Right message, wrong person, bro. But the JasonTheWeen situation is disturbing. They're gonna talk about David, I guess, and I don't know who JasonTheWeen is, and I don't know much about David. So we about to see what this is hitting for.
Lying on the internet for impressions, bro. Yeah, you're right. It's not even lies. He's just falsely accusing me of directly involved. Okay.
JasonTheWeen and Pokemon are directly involved in David's M case as they shot a music video with him acting out a.
I bet. I bet.
I don't know what it is. How the does JasonTheWeen have anything to do with the like
recently, after the entire David situation that has been going down with him being put into court and him actually being put behind bars, a lot of people have taken this opportunity not to sit there and point at David and dissect the case with their chat, talk about how David is not a good person, why everything that went on is pretty bad, and basically just go over all the crazy stuff that has happened since then. Instead, a lot of streamers slash clip pages have used this as an opportunity to try and sit there and hate farm JasonTheWeen because he had a couple of streams with David, basically lying on his name for attention and clicks. I'm only commentating on this to talk about the weird accusations being put on JasonTheWeen's name. I do not condone, support, or in any way aid to any of the false things that are being placed upon him and his connection with David. I want to make that very clear from the start so that when I dive into the backgrounds of JasonTheWeen along with David's connection, people don't assume that I'm trying to say or agree with all of the wild things that have been put on top of JasonTheWeen's name. That is just not the case at all. But I do still want to start from the very beginning with who even know any of these two in case you're unaware.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were older because I'm 20 and I thought that was young.
Nah, that's why I call you big bro.
Yo, wait, you're 04?
05.
What the?
Talking about March, baby, bro. Shaq
Wait.
gonna start calling you Unc now.
Nah,
It's over.
Nah,
It's
I'm
over.
not Unc.
Timestamps in case y'all want to skip around. For anyone who's unaware of any of the people that you just saw on screen, JasonTheWeen is a very popular streamer who does a mix of content from IRLs to desktop to reactions to even making songs. And at one point decided to do a collab with David, the other person you saw in that clip, who is a songwriter who's in a lot of heat right now for a ton of things that happened between him and a young girl that was found in his Tesla. But at the time, JasonTheWeen and the public were unaware of this, so him and Jason ended up doing a bunch of different collabs, from making a song together to being featured in his music video to just being around or seen with him on stream from time to time.
How tall is David? Hey, look, there's been a lot of discourse. Regarding my height. I'm gonna just say, Jason is taller than me by about an inch.
No,
by about an
that
inch.
is not an inch,
By
bro.
about an inch, but
That is not an inch, bro.
by about 2 inches. By about 2 inches.
Nah.
By about 3 inches. By about 3 inches. But
Clips of the two on stream started circulating like crazy and doing crazy amounts of numbers. Along with something that aided this was the fact that Jason and David ended up making a song on stream that a lot of people adored and loved, which they ended up also filming a music video for, which went super viral. It seemed like that collab was just like any other one that was pushing David's name along with JasonTheWeen's name out there to a lot more people. Unfortunately, one day we got the news that David was going to be a suspect in a case after a body was found in his Tesla. And everybody was shocked to hear about this. Everybody was in complete awe as they couldn't understand or even see the possibility of that being David, because he apparently had so many alibis at the time, from being on tour to having this personality of some guy who would never do such a thing, to just a lot of people being very skeptical of the situation. And unfortunately for most people without a platform, them voicing how they feel about it or voicing any concerns that they might have with the information that was being released won't really be affected. JasonTheWeen had a big streaming audience, so anytime he spoke about the situation with David, negative or positively, it was going to get clipped and shared instantly.
Hey, I'm gonna say this right now. He didn't anybody, bro. He didn't anybody. There's no way. There's no way he's been on tour. He didn't anybody. He's been on tour. He literally performed yesterday. Bro, do you see the videos that he makes? There's no way he's somebody. He was framed. Either he was framed or my theory is someone and stole David's car and left it in the trunk. But I'm also not a detective, so.
Have you talked about the situation
With David?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
He's not.
No.
Thank God, bro. Because I was still going to listen to his music. I was just worried that I'd be if I did.
No, listen, he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. He's not a suspect.
He's not just escaping the police clutches?
No. And I'm going to perform. We're going to perform on the 20th, me and David.
When all this news first broke out, it would have been better for Jason to just say nothing. Because I know he's looking back at some of these clips completely mad at himself. Again, this was all before any real evidence came out and before the internet detective started collecting videos, having past live streams, looking at tattoos that David had. This is all very brand new. But even then, this is very negligent on JasonTheWeen's part to even speak and discuss this when an ongoing case is going on. So out of this entire situation, this is definitely a mistake and misstep on his part, because a lot of the internet used this as an excuse to blame JasonTheWeen for not only having a connection with David when all of this stuff was still pretty new, but also apparently trying to defend him after more and more evidence came out, to the point where he had to have his friends on stream, Lacey and Stable Ronaldo, actually defend him, because a bunch of people were trying to point at JasonTheWeen and say he definitely had some involvement, he might have helped David, he has some connection or some way knew something about everything that was going on with the David case. If you think about that for a second, that sounds beyond far-fetched.
Bro, stop with this shit. I don't know about this shit. By the way, I don't give a fuck. Y'all can call me a writer. Y'all could do but I don't know why y'all think that JasonTheWeen has any type of fucking involvement into what happened with the David dude, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if it's the state clips. I don't know if motherfuckers are autistic. I don't know what it is. How the fuck does JasonTheWeen have anything to do with the fucking
Steve Ronaldo? Ain't even gonna say that, bro. He came in my shit, said I look like this guy. He will forever look like a man boy. Stuck looking like a man boy forever. He came in my shit saying I look like this guy. Nigga, fuck you, nigga. Big ass man boy.
like, bro, have motherfuckers lost the plot? Genuinely, have they lost the plot? Have they lost? Like, I do not understand, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Man, and a 15-year-old girl is, and instead of being human and being like, oh, that's horrible, that's sad, that's so evil, somehow you guys try to link Jason. Y'all realize that just because you do a stream with someone or make a song with someone, like, you guys act like Jason has absolutely nothing to do with it.
I seen this a lot earlier, and I'm like I said with him, and I'll say it again. Right message, wrong person, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. We don't want to hear that from you, nigga. Lacey, you're saying it, bro. What are you talking about?
This at all. If someone has the capability of
right person, wrong
another
message.
human being and talking to an underage girl and hiding it for years, that person is sick in the head, as a sociopath, a psychopath.
Now, obviously, the normal sentiment that a lot of people are going to have is JasonTheWeen just outspoke when he didn't need to, and when a lot of people on the internet didn't have a lot of evidence. And once more evidence comes its way, you can't delete these clips or the original stuff that you said when basically everybody knew nothing. So once a bunch more people are like, hey, we can definitely tell that David's involved in some way, we can definitely tell that there was a relationship in some way, people are still pulling up those old clips when basically everybody knew nothing. And JasonTheWeen had spoke about the situation, saying that he was innocent, saying that he was still going to perform with them, and using that as evidence to say JasonTheWeen definitely knew and is just trying to defend his friend, in air quotes obviously, even though y'all can't see them, against the media and trying to save his PR as all of this stuff goes on. When in actuality, that's not the case. And it got so bad to the point that JasonTheWeen had to get on stream himself and denounce all of the old stuff that he said and said that he was not actually friends with David and only did streams with him.
Nigga, you smell like Vienna sausages.
Because
You walk around this bit with the green smoke trailing you.
narrative that's spun on Twitter. First off, I want to retract my statement. Obviously, the other day, I was defending David before all the new evidence came out.
Hey, that shit funny.
Do not.
You talking about if you thinking what I was thinking? We friends now.
Okay, that shit is wicked and it's just unbelievable.
Oh,
it's
God.
been a lot to process. And
fun.
one more thing, I want to say the girl that I met named Celeste at the FaZe house is not the same Celeste that was RIP to that girl. One thing I also want to add to the David situation. I did not know anything. I'm not even close friends with David. I made a song with him. All right, I had dinner with him one time in a group setting. and then motherfuckers saying I'm best friends with him. No, bro.
Now, obviously, I'll state again that JasonTheWeen speaking out at all before a lot of evidence came out is negligence on his part. I'm pretty sure he knows. I'm pretty sure you as the audience knows. And he understands moving forward that he should not do that. But after stating to not only his audience, but the rest of the world that he is not condoning anything that David has done, he denounces him actually defending him, and he is not cool or friends with him because he doesn't even hang out with him off stream and only went to a dinner with him in a setting that was with more people. You would think that after all of this settled down, people would stop comparing or talking about JasonTheWeen having a connection with David at all. In all reality, that should have been the case, but it definitely
Now I'd be mad as hell down like that to a
still
nigga like
more
that.
and more people
bro,
were going on and on about JasonTheWeen still having some sort of connection
be
with
pro.
David. And
Like,
something that was fueling a
niggas
lot
just
of
playing
this
this bitch
were
for
these
YouTube.
clipping pages
Bro, you
making
should be
fake
pro.
posts like this. FaZe Jason is connected to both a pred and an alleged. What's next? JasonTheWeen now regrets defending David after backlash he received. JasonTheWeen backtracks to "We were not friends" after defending David and calling him his best friend for months. Fans believe FaZe Jason knew about David's past with Celeste and tried to cover it up. FaZe Jason still hasn't changed his stance.
This Kick Champ account is obviously using your name for clicks, nigga. Stop responding to it, Jason. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Stop giving them what they want. Especially if you're not involved, dude. Bro, they didn't mention your name 10 times.
After defending David last week, even as new evidence proves him guilty. I shouldn't have to explain to y'all why this is weird behavior. We have already talked about clipping channels and how they actively post misinformation on a daily basis. That's normally with crazy out of context clips with stuff that's not as important. While still weird, it's never on this level to an actual suspect that is going through a literal legal case and trying to pin a person as literally nothing to do with it being involved in some way. But it reached a catalyst recently when KickChamp posted something he probably regrets now after David was actually appearing in court because of everything that was going on.
Oh my fucking god. A lot of texts and phone calls back and forth were seen by the police.
Hey, if I'm Jason at KickChamp, I'm taking a screenshot of this, I'm recording it, and I'm giving it to my lawyer. This is defamation right here. Especially if this is not true. Nigga, I want $1 million at least. Like, I'm coming to sue you for some dog shit for playing on my name. I'm so deadass. If you do anything other than that, you wasn't serious. You're not serious behind your name. This is defamation right here.
This is actual defamation. Hope Rainbed's paying you enough, buddy. Hope Rainbed's paying you enough, buddy. I know exactly how much they're paying you too, buddy. Hey, they offered Ween updates bread too.
Yes, sir.
Not exactly. Hey, it's not enough.
Yes, sir.
It's not enough, but
JasonTheWeen was the closest person to David before his charges and could possibly be a suspect. April 12th, 2025, 11 days before, Jason performs live on stage with David at Coachella. A lot of texts and phone calls back and forth were seen by police. April 25th, 2025, 2 days after, David drops his album Withered, where Jason had already been tied to the promo cycle, appearing in a music video for What Are You Waiting For, filmed/released in late March 2025 with Pokimane.
Yeah, we coming up off this. We getting richer than what we already. But so, I'll lose a lot of money behind it. Just because I'm suing for 7 figures for shows.
JasonTheWeen and Pokimane are directly involved with David's case as they shot a music video with him acting out a
literally just lying on the internet for impressions, bro. Sue who? I'm about to sue KickChamp, bro. Enough is enough. This dude's literally just a weirdo, bro. Yeah, you're right. It's deadass not even lies. He's just falsely accusing me of shit. Like what, bro? Directly involved. Okay, bet. I bet. Nah, I'm saving this shit. Let me save this shit. Hey, Pokimane texting me back. Bro, I can't stream it more, bro.
Like, bro, why is this like?
Nigga, you?
Why is this
Nigga, are you crying?
like lying on me, bro? Literally lying on me, just falsely accusing me of shit that I'm not even involved in, bro. And like,
I don't feel good, chat. I don't know if I can stream tomorrow, bro.
He's being dramatic, bro.
It's one thing to sit here and lie for a clip. A bunch of people do it all the time with fake captions, having clips that are like decades old, and saying the most outrageous things with literally no context in them. But something like this, in a very serious situation where actual victims and trying to pin a random person who just happened to collab with the guy, is odd and weird, and leads to stuff like this with them threatening to sue, them actually going through with it. Not just JasonTheWeen, but in that clip, I don't know if you heard, he also said he was texting Pokimane to get her involved as well. And as of him saying that and a bunch of the clips going viral of him talking about suing, KickChamp, the actual page that posted all that stuff, took down not only those 2 clips you saw right there, but also took down a variety of other times he was talking about JasonTheWeen. If you go to his page right now, you basically never end up seeing him say his name even once, just out of nowhere, because JasonTheWeen threatened to sue him, which I understand trying to get money, but there is no way lying about something this serious is worth the 3 cents you are going to get off of a Twitter paycheck. And it's not like this KickChamp guy hasn't done stuff like this before. He has lied on other FaZe members, like when he lied on Lacey for apparently not donating to cancer research like he said he would.
Like, how low of a person do you have to be to use cancer to clickbait to get impressions? You know how much of an actual loser you have to be to use cancer to click?
You know how fucking stupid you have to be to actually donate to this and think they're gonna get the money? Nigga, at Lacey, this is a rich people tax write-off. You know how much money these cancer research have? Global cancer research funding is a massive multi-billion-dollar effort, with over 24.5 billion invested in research projects between 2016 and 2020 alone. 24 billion in 4 years.
Clickbait for impressions. Like, that's
sad.
sad. That's weird. Like, that you have
We've
to
been
just
getting
like
scammed,
actually
bro.
like I raised money for breast cancer because of my mom had breast cancer, and for a page to just like use that just to get impressions, and not only that but lie about it to get impressions.
You got people paying for their cancer treatments.
I genuinely hope
24 billion wasn't invested.
Bro, this page needs taken down, bro.
Clip pages have been a very big problem for a while now, with many other people making entire videos dedicated to the topic. But if we're getting to the point where we literally don't even care about what we're posting, and we are trying to frame people for being suspects in a serious case, I feel like we have lost the plot in this entire internet game as a whole. There is no way you care this much about getting $2 to $3 from Twitter that you are going to lie about something that is this serious. And I hope JasonTheWeen actually does end up suing this page, and that continues onward, because clip pages like this face no real repercussions for being able to lie and just spread misinformation left and right, and they completely understand that this is going to have real repercussions for the people that they're mentioning, but they just don't care. So they need actual consequences in order to stop them from doing it. But at the end of the day, that is just how I feel. If you want to talk about how you feel, the best place to do that would be the comment section down below, because this video is unfortunately over. But if you did enjoy this video, maybe consider giving it a like.
So singer David has just been arrested for allegedly Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he is going to trial. But what you got to understand is this trial ain't going to be simple. It's going to be a dogfight. Now, to understand why I said it, you got to understand what the police believe happened. Now, they charged David with 3 things, and these 3 charges are gonna tell us the story of what police believe happened. I need you to just wait and listen closely. Okay, look, first they charged David with Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Okay, then they charged him with seeing Celeste Rivas Hernandez while she was at an age that he should not have been seeing her at. If you don't know how old she was, look in the comments. Then they charged him with interfering with—
what the fuck was his weird ass doing with that little baby anyway?
An investigation. Now again, these 3 things tell us what police believe happened. Okay, what they say again, they said they believe that David Celeste, right? But something I forgot to tell you is they said under special circumstances, including lying in wait, that means kind of like ambushing, and somebody for financial gain. So what you can kind of guess from this is they're saying that David must have lured her to the crib, basically saying, look, come through to the crib, like I need to talk to you real quick, and then her for financial gain. They said David also her for financial gain. What that
As a sacrifice.
mean?
Yes.
Well, that means that David must have been doing this to preserve his career. Okay, you'll understand what that means when we go to that next
For
charge.
financial gain is sacrifice, bro. Don't overthink it.
Again, remember, they said David
Or
was seeing
financial gain.
Celeste at an age that he should not have been seeing her. So what you can kind of guess is Celeste must have told David, look, you finna be exposed. You're seeing me at an age that you should not be seeing me. Maybe we having an argument or something, and I'm finna expose you right now. David said, oh, come through to the crib real quick. I need to talk to you, lying in wait. And then her for financial gain, because if he doesn't, she's about to expose him, his career is going to be ruined. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go to that third charge that we were talking about. David interfering with an investigation. What that means? So that investigation could be Celeste reporting him, saying, look, David's seeing me at an age he should not be seeing me. And him and Celeste, that interferes with an investigation. Maybe Celeste's parents went to the police. The police were investigating David, Celeste. That includes messing with an investigation. So basically what you can kind of infer is Celeste was probably going to expose David, and David her for it. But here's where things start to get wicked. Like I said earlier, this trial is gonna be a dogfight. And how you know it's gonna be a fight is because of the fact that police took so long to arrest David. That tells you two things. One, the police
They don't have that much evidence,
but
bro.
it's not 100%. It's going to be circumstantial. Yeah. And two, they wanted to make sure that that evidence they got can't be countered by David's lawyer so easily. What does that mean? Well, the district attorney basically said it himself. He said, look, we don't have David doing this right in front of a camera. We had to be in the mud with it. Like, we had to figure out all of the evidence possible. We also got to make sure all of the rumors and the false evidence gets disproven too, because David's lawyer's finna use that against us as well. The police chief slides in. He gets kind of defensive. He said, look, all y'all saying we was taking too long, this and that. Like, we was in the weeds. Like, we was in the mud doing this. Like, we was working hard. Like, he wasn't getting that passionate, but like, he was pretty passionate. He like, look, dude, like, we took long because like, we had to make sure all of our ducks were in a row. If 12 can't convince 12, then we lose. See, what a lot of people don't remember is, yeah, police are gonna have their case, no matter how clear that it may seem. David's gonna have a lawyer on the other side and say, well, maybe that's not as clear as we think it is, huh? For example, let's say the trial happens. The prosecutor said, look, David texted her right here saying, pull up April 21st. David's lawyer finna be like, how you know she actually pulled up? Okay, shoot. Do we got her on camera pulling up on April 21st? See, that's the evidence that they gotta search for. They said, look, we got her on camera pulling up in the area. David's lawyer finna be like, oh no, David never saw her that night though. Maybe she got lost. Maybe she just went back home. How you know she was actually there? Oh no, we got evidence that she was there from forensics and all that. Okay. What if they just had a simple conversation though and she left and then something happened to her outside? How y'all know David did it for real? Well, we believe David did it for all of these other little reasons. You see, that's what I mean by a fight. They have to have the utmost proof, because sometimes people be sitting there on a jury. It takes that one juror to be like, well, David's lawyer finna jump on people's doubts. He's gonna say, are y'all 100% beyond a reasonable doubt positive that David did it with all that? Remember, like I said earlier, she could have just left the crib. David didn't see her. Somebody else might have did it. And then the jurors start questioning themselves. And then all of a sudden you lose a trial. Again, police said, not this time. We're going to have a counter for their counters and a counter for their counters. So we'll see how good of a job police and the investigators did come trial. Now, something else you got to note is the little things that go on behind the trial so you can get the edge. This is what I mean. So this is actual police going into David's house. There's like 20 police officers that stormed in. This is basically police saying, see, David's pretty dangerous. Like, we really had to pull up in force. It's what police do to already try to shape the minds of people before a trial. An example of this being the purple. It shows police efficiency. It shows, look at this guy. He don't look like he an innocent guy. Like, look how many officers, look at the stuff we have with us. You really believe he's innocent? Fine, but it's in the fact that they also said David might be getting the penalty. This can also be used as leverage in a sort of sense between the prosecutors and David's lawyers. They can say, look, dude, we can give him the penalty. What if we just remove the penalty, give him life in prison, and y'all just say David did it? This can go 50-50. Are you really gonna bet your client's life on that? David's lawyer is probably gonna be like, hell no, let's go to 9 yards, let's go for it. But it's just another strategy that police have in their back pocket. It's the fact that they charged him with these 3 things. They said, look, just in case we can't prove that David Celeste, the fact that he was seeing her, okay, that's probably gonna go through, and he can get a lot of years for that. So no matter what, they gave him 3 charges that might carry some large max sentences. So they're saying, look, he might get the max sentence for the fact that he was seeing Celeste at of a certain age. And if he gets the max sentence for that, that is a lengthy sentence on its own. Disrupting an investigation, if he gets a max sentence, that might be a lengthy sentence on its own. You see, just in case, they have their contingency. They want to make sure that he gets some years regardless. But of course, they're going to go for the big one her. It's kind of like Diddy's trial. Diddy basically had 1 charge that didn't carry a lot of years, a middle charge that carried a good amount of years, and a final charge that carried life in prison. Diddy got found not guilty on the 2 bigger charges. He only got found guilty on the one that carried a little bit of years. But where it gets a tiny bit deeper is these charges that may be easy to prove that may not carry a lot of years can really range depending on the circumstances. In Diddy's case, he already served a prior sentence. Like, he was sitting there in jail waiting for trial. So Diddy's lawyer may come out and say, look, he was already sitting there for like a year or 2. Like, the charge that he got only carries like a year. Come on, y'all gotta just let him go. In David's case, since the circumstances are absolutely atrocious, the judge in David's case might just be like, max sentence, I don't care. You could say what you want, I don't care. Like, basically, David better get not guilty on all his charges, or a judge is probably gonna look at him and say, because of these insane, wild circumstances, boy, you finna sit in prison for a good while. David's lawyer might open his mouth and say, but judge gonna say, shut up, he going to jail. But again, this can go a million different ways. We're just gonna have to wait and see what the prosecutors have. We're gonna have to wait and see what David's lawyers come up with to counter what those prosecutors have as well.
Hey, facts.
Better know what you're doing when you're going on that mission. I know professional shooters and I get them niggas pissed. But for that drill, they walk down. My young niggas most so sick. I try to teach this bitch a lesson. That little bitches wouldn't rinse. I tired of lectures. Now I'm sending all these hoes to the tip. I put my city on loose swag. Little bitch, check out my invention. When BR niggas get a bag, we heading straight to the dick. I'ma put some diamonds in my dick. Reach for my jewelry, I leave you crazy.